suicide became an option for me. And sometimes, right now, even though I think about it, I can't just really phantom the fact that I've been in that position whereby I wanted to take my life. I quite realize that it's going on, and all I can think of is just climb up there and jump up from the building. I mean, this is in church. The perspective of people towards me is not who I am. If I can be able to capture through the lenses of God who I see myself or who God sees me, then invariably it's just a matter of time. I will metamorphose into that person who God has seen me to be or who God has called me to be. Hello guys, you're welcome to another episode of Weekend Whispers with Williams. Now you might be wondering, what's going on? Why is he wearing glasses? I mean, I felt like using this today. I mean, it looks different, right? Most persons haven't seen me. It's not medicated though. I just felt like putting on something and looking quite different. And you might be wondering, what's up with the lights and everything? Now, I'm really excited because, first of all, Weekend Whispers is rounding up this week because it's just for the month of November. And I'm also excited because next week we are getting into December. I mean, I think it should be next week, Monday or so, as December 1st. Very, very exciting news. And for those who don't know, by next week, I'll be graduating from university. It's been 5 years of God's goodness and God's grace and the strength of God that I survived 5 years of food science and technology. But here we are at Weekend Whispers. So welcome to another episode. I feel really, really excited that December is fast approaching. I feel really, really excited that Christmas is here again. I mean, it's that time of the year where you have this feeling of coziness, this feeling of excitement, this feeling of joy. I mean, even though sometimes things might not really be there, you have not really eaten, but the season, the weather, everything is just giving that vibe. I mean, you're just on your feet every day. You just wake up with this inner. I mean, there's something different about Christmas. Apart from it's been just a season, a time where we celebrate the birth of Christ and everything. There's just something about the atmosphere of Christmas. It's just a season of joy. It's a season of love. I mean, that's why at that moment you see people, they tend to give out more, they tend to be more excited, they tend to share more because there's just this feeling that season comes with. And trust me, don't hold back that feeling. Extend a hand of love to somebody out there. Extend a hand of happiness. Put a joy in someone's heart. Put a smile on someone's face this festive season. As for me, I'm already in December. I don't know about you. I started downloading my Christmas movies to see them because I love Christmas movies a lot. I mean, it makes me happy. It brings me into the season even before we enter the new month. Now, get involved in whatever is going to be happening Christmas. Get involved. Get excited. Put up your mind, and trust me, a new year is coming. 2026 is coming. Start setting your goals for the new year. Start setting what you want to achieve for the new year. Start trusting your plans into the hands of God, and we trust God that a new year and a fresh grace will be given to you. Now, today I'll be talking about something really special. I'll be talking about something really awesome. Sometimes growing up as a child or growing up as a person, you come across certain challenges. I can remember back then when I was in secondary school, the feeling of trying to get involved, trying to get among, try to feel among. You want people to notice you, you want people to, see you as someone who is relevant. You want people to see you as someone who is, in quotes, important. I mean, you just want to be seen. You have a lot of classmates who, if they come out and they talk, there's just this level of reverence, not just because they are academically up there, but even those who are not even academically up there, they are just there. Like, should I say the popular kids back then, right? You're trying to get involved. And if you don't get to that point whereby you are seen, or if you get to that point whereby everybody is being celebrated, is being clapped for, but you on the other hand, it's as though you are invisible. It's as though you're not seen. No matter the effort you put in, no matter the energy you put in, is as though you're not seeing. My dear, trust me, it can be so depreciating. It can be so annoying. It can be so frustrating. But I tell you something, that aside the emotional parts that it brings about in a child, it can also affect how the child sees himself. So I can remember how I was in secondary school. I was passing through my stay in secondary school, and it got to a point whereby, okay, I was quite darker. I think I've shared this story before here on the podcast, in reality podcast. I think either season two, yes, season two, about self love. Yeah. So I was growing up, and it got to a point where I was quite darker than I am right now, right? And people, they usually call me black and white then, because oh, I have a dark skin and I have a white teeth, so they call me black and white. And because of that, there's just this stereotype that people just have around me. And growing up, if not that I grew up in a family who knows how to embrace me with love, who knows how to talk positive things in the midst of chaos. We are just these positive talkers and positive thinkers. I would have grown up to be very toxic, right? Because I grew up around people in secondary school who they call me names, they abuse me. I mean, you're growing up and you don't feel safe. And at that point, you try as much as possible to do all you can to prove a point that indeed you are worth more than they think you are. But it's as though your effort is just going down the drain. So I remember I went through school and I came up with that stereotype, and at some point I got involved with I won't say really get involved, but I found this part of me that gets angry easily. I mean, a little thing, I'm stirred up, I'm angry, I'm pouring out my heart, and I don't really smile, right? Because I can smile and you tend to come close, and I get close to you, and all of a sudden you're insulting me or you're throwing shades at me. So it made me, I went back to my cocoon, I went back to my state of being inside myself. I just wanted to just be myself, right? And I started fighting with anger issues. But I can remember a particular day. Then I changed secondary school. So in my senior secondary years, I can remember a particular day on a Sunday. I was a border. On a Sunday, I was in a class, and one of my classmates, her name is Choma Henry. She was the chapel prefect then. So she came and met me in class on Sunday after church when I was reading in class. And she said that, evidence, do you know why I don't really talk to you? Do you know why I don't really come close to you? And I was like, oh, why? Because in as much as I'm dealing with a lot of things, I'm someone that I'm open to corrections. I'm open to feedbacks. I was like, oh, why? And she said that you are easily angered and you don't smile. So how will people approach you? Now, I can as well get stirred up at that moment, but I feel the Holy Spirit just calmed me down, and I went back to the hostel. And I was thinking, I was like, oh, can you imagine a lot of persons who want to get close to me, but because of how I've dealt with persons, or because of how some persons have dealt with me in the past, it have created a barricade to restrict the positive persons who actually mean well to me to come into my life. So I went back to the hostel. I started learning how to smile. I started learning how to put up a smiling face. I started learning how to, just lighten up to communicate with people. But aside that, there are times whereby life can bring in many storms. I can remember the time where I was dealing with a lot. Some things were not really sitting well with me financially, and a lot of things, even coupled with the stereotype of people, you not being seen. It's as though you're just in a dark world of your own. And I remember that was when the thought of suicide came, right? Coupled with what happened several years when I lost someone who was really dear to me, the thoughts of suicide came. I was like, if you want to narrow down the reason you want to commit suicide, like personally, if I wanted to narrow down, I can't really find the foundation of the thoughts, or the foundation or the thoughts that created the foundation of me wanting to commit suicide. So you can really see that the devil came in to just take my life without any cause. So even though I go back and I think about it, I just found myself in a state of depression, but I can't really find out the cause of that depression. It was just like a couple of things put together that is making me to feel that way, that's making me to think that way, right? But I got to a point whereby I had to ask myself first of all, what is the reason for this thought? And it was so bad that sometimes I go to church for rehearsal. I mean, back then I was in the choir. I sing, I can sing. I can remember back then, sometimes I go to church for choir rehearsals, and like on the next floor, from like choir rehearsals is going on, and all I can think of is just climb up there and jump up from the building. I mean, this is in church. This is in church. And the thing I keep asking myself is, if the devil can tamper with my mind, even when I'm in the four walls of the church, how much more at home? So I had to get back home. I prayed, but it's as though nothing worked. I couldn't actually speak up then, because of course I was in my shell. I don't really value people safe, and I don't really see people to even value me or whatever I have to say. But I was just inside my shell. I was just into myself, right? So I had to ask myself, what is the cause of this depression and this thought of suicide? This was when suicide became an option for me. Suicide became an option for me. And sometimes right now, even though I think about it, I can't just really phantom the fact that I've been in that position whereby I wanted to take my life. I can't phantom the fact that I've been in that position whereby suicide became an option for me. But beyond that, beyond me being in this frame wall of suicide, of the suicidal thoughts, I had to ask myself, I was like, what is the cause of this thought? And trust me, I couldn't relate. I couldn't draw back the line to the reason for this thought. I just saw that this is the devil manipulating my emotions for me to feel this way. Manipulating my emotions for me to think this way. Manipulating my emotions for me to feel that what people call me is actually who I am. And I got to, one thing that helps me a lot, sometimes you're growing up and your father, your mother, they are pushing you as a child to read books. They're pushing you as a child to study. Sometimes when I was quite younger, they'll be like, oh, you can't leave the house, or you can't do or play if you haven't read 1 hour a day. I can remember my mom usually does that to me a lot. You must read an hour every day. And back then, it was as though it was a punishment. It was as though they hated us. I mean, we are children. Let's have fun. We have a lot of our friends out there after school. They are running around. But we are always engaged after the semester or after the term. We are always engaged with home lessons. We are engaged with reading. Sometimes my mom tells us to read, to answer questions at the end of the textbook, and she will mark and score us. It looks as though she was punishing us. But trust me, looking at my life now, reading has become a pattern. If I don't read, it's as though there's a part of me that is dying. Reading has become a pattern. And for you to be leaders, you need to be readers. What I'm trying to say is that I got back into reading. I exposed myself to reading in those times whereby I was withdrawn to myself. I exposed myself to reading, and I got to discover that who people call me or who people think I am is not actually who I am. I got to discover that there's a four part of you. There's a you that you know that only you knows. There's a you that you know and others know. There's a you that others know that you don't know. And there's a you that only God knows. What I keep asking myself is, how does God see me? Because the perspective of people towards me is not who I am. If I can be able to capture through the lenses of God who I see myself or who God sees me, then invariably it's just a matter of time. I will metamorphose into that person who God has seen me to be, or who God has called me to be. And if I can be able to have a picture of who God has called me to be, then it's just a matter of time. Other persons also will see me in that light. So I got to know that I am not who others call me. I am not black and white. I am not depressed. I am not angered. One of the things that helps me with the angry spirit is the Holy Spirit, right? There are times whereby you want to react to certain things, and the Holy Spirit just says, do not speak. Kai is as though like they heaped coal of fire on you. I mean, someone made you angry. Someone spoke so harshly to you. Someone insulted you or insulted your parents. And you wanted to say something or type something, and the Holy Spirit says, do not send that message. Do not speak. There is nothing more frustrating than that, because it's as though there is a pot of water inside of you, hot water that wants to pour out, but there is a restriction, there is a wall. And to make it worse, the Holy Spirit will go further to say, apologize to that person. Kai, it was really frustrating. But I got to understand something. I noticed that what the Holy Spirit was trying to do is not to make the other person feel good. He's trying to question my obedience and my subjection to his will. What he's trying to do is trying to ask me, do you actually value my words, or value my thoughts, or value my prepositions, rather than, or do you exalt whatever I have to tell you above your emotions or above how you feel currently? Trust me, it wasn't an easy process, but God helped me. I overcame the thoughts of suicide. I mean, sometimes thinking about it, I'm like, oh God, me? Think about suicide? Because of what? You're not being seen. Because of what? You're not being appreciated. Because of what? Oh, you were not as handsome as they were then. You're not as rich as they were then. But trust me, life is in process. Life is in stages, and men are in sizes. The person you are today is evolving. No moment stays forever, good or bad. Times are always changing. The best you can do is to evolve into the time that has been changing and utilize it. Times are been changing, and to get the best out of times, you need to evolve into the seasons and the patterns of the new times that have been changing. Make good use of every process that God is taking you through. Make good use of every person that God is bringing into your life. I got to understand that there are people that are in your life for a season. There are people that are in your life for a moment. And there are people that are in your life for a lifetime. Do not confuse those who are in your life for a moment for people who are meant to be in your life for a lifetime. And it's going to help you to know when to let someone go. You just know that, oh, this person is not meant to be for a lifetime. This person is just for a season. And after the person has accomplished what the person is meant to accomplish, it's time for me to let you go. Not because I hate you, but because if you stay longer than this, it's just as though you're eating a shaft. There's nothing that can be productive again out of this relationship. So get to know who God has placed in your life for a season, for a moment, and for a lifetime. Make and utilize every moment that God has given to you. And also see yourself through the lenses. Through the lenses. See yourself through the lenses of God. If you can see yourself through the lenses of God, if you can see yourself through the mind of God, then the opinions of others won't really matter much to you. It won't weigh you down. Because when others are saying there's a casting down, then you inside, you know that even though that what I'm passing through is hurting me so much, I have the witness inside of me that it is temporal and it's just a matter of time. Things are changing. It's just the same way no season lasts forever. There's dry season, there's rainy season, there's summer, winter, autumn, spring. Just the same way seasons are changing. That's the same way situations and circumstances are changing. No circumstance lasts forever. Either it gets better or it gets worse. But what necessitates it to getting better is you seeing yourself through the lenses of God and walking according to the divine plan of God. So this is when suicide became an option, and this is how I overcame. I saw myself through the lenses of God. Yo guys, trust me, it's really been an awesome time with Weekend Whispers. I mean, I didn't really go deep into some things I was meant to say today just because I don't want to. I feel it's not your time. There are things that happened to me in the past that actually affected me real bad. I mean, it affected me real bad. But thank you so much, guys, for joining us today. I mean, for joining me rather today. I had a wonderful time. I had a wonderful time. Like, don't worry, next time when we are on another series of Weekend Whispers, I'm going to actually whisper some deep things about me and about my personal life. Right, how the devil tried to wrap me around homosexuality and other things. That was going to be a story for another time. But trust me, it's Christmas. We are here. I don't know why I'm emphasizing on Christmas, but it is Christmas. Please make good use of every day. Go out, have fun, chill, spend time with your loved ones, travel. I mean, oh, come on, have an adventure, enjoy yourself, man. And please do well to follow us on all social media platforms, on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube. Subscribe on Spotify, leave us on a 5-star rating, and don't forget, by December we'll be giving out 3 free matches to our 3 key supporters. For those who have been with us and who has been supporting us and who has been reposting, who has been sharing our content, who has been really supporting us back to back, we have a free match for you this December to celebrate In Reality Podcast as we turn 1 year, and also to celebrate the festive season. I'm going to see you guys some other time. Please stay tuned, stay key to our content, and stay key to our platforms. We are going to be dropping updates on all our social media platforms so that we don't leave you in the dark room. I'll see you guys whenever I see you guys. Have a nice day.